Hi everybody, welcome to Toast Time. Today I'm making Gyeran-ppang, and pang is just means bread. So there are a lot of different types of pang, but Gyeran means egg. So this is a Korean egg bread, and it's a street food. So not a whole lot of ingredients, but we're going to start with oiling these little guys. So these are about 4 inches by 2 inches, and I have them on the baking tray because just in case it goes over. I haven't made this before, so I'm not quite sure my amounts, but in case it goes over, I don't want it to go straight onto my baking stone. And they say to brush the bottom with oil, so I'm going to do that, and instead of spraying it. And I'll just get these prepped really quickly. So there is a whole egg and cheese in this bread. And these are kind of individual loaves. So I'm just going to do 3 in each. The recipe is for 3 of these little loaves. I'm doubling it since we're a family of 4, and I'm sure people will probably want a little bit more. So I'm going to be using, depending on where you're from, mozzarella or mozzarella, but I'm using 2 different kinds. So I have string cheese that I've cut up into 6 pieces, and so that'll be for 3 of the loaves, and then I have more of a fresh ball of it, and I just cut it up into kind of the same size as the string cheese. So I have all-purpose flour in here, and I have my whisk, and these eggs here are for on the top after we get this all set up. So we have this, and we have sugar. This is supposed to be kind of a cakey texture. It's a sweet bread because we have the sugar. Melted butter. That's baking powder, salt, vanilla, 2, okay, and 2 eggs. All right, and then the milk. But I'm going to break up these eggs a little bit first. Make sure that butter is soft. Okay, good. Just a little piece of the butter didn't melt, but it's fine. All right, I'm going to pour in the milk and then whisk this all up. This is a really simple one. I think it's akin to kind of making pancakes. You just have your flour and sugar, eggs, some vanilla. So, I don't know. This might be a really fun kind of breakfast item. And then how long we cook it depends on how we want the eggs to set up. So we might want them a little bit soft, and we're going to do 13 minutes. That's what I'm going to do. And if you want them completely hard, you're going to go about 15 minutes in the oven. So, again, it's all just learning. All right. What's that? It is very thin. That's okay, because I think the cheese kind of goes to the bottom of the pan and gets all crispy when we drop it in. So let's do this and grab this to fill. All right. So I'm just going to put about halfway up on these. Oh, it's about that size. Oh, perfect. And they did say be careful because it will, the egg will take up a lot of room and kind of surprise you. So I want to be careful of that. But that's another reason that I'm keeping this on the baking tray. So I think I'm going to have a little bit extra batter. Maybe I'll oil up one of the other ones here. Don't want to overdo it. Okay. Do one more here. Okay. Cool. Okay, so this one with the 4, I'm going to do the string cheese version. And I'm just going to let this other one bake as bread because I'm kind of curious to see if adding the cheese and the egg changes the texture of the bread, if it gets mixed in at all. So I'm going to leave one of them just to bake by itself, just the batter. But the cheese, I'm going to put one on one side, one on the other side. Oh, kind of fell. Okay, one on each side. And then we're going to crack the egg right into the middle on top. So I'm going to do the same with this cheese. And I want to see if the texture of the cheese, I mean, obviously it's going to be different, but I want to see how different once it bakes and melts in. Because I saw a lot of great pictures where they're tearing apart the bread and you have the cheese strings and it looks really good. So I'm excited for that. And I want to see the difference. Okay, so there's that. And then we're just going to crack the eggs in. But I'm not going to do it directly in. I'm going to do it into a bowl and then pour it in just to make sure no shell gets in and to be able to kind of control where it goes, hopefully a little bit better. Okay. And right into the middle. Oh, it does take up a surprising amount. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so that kind of filled it up almost to the top. That is exactly why I do it into the bowl. Okay. Now the oven is preheated to 400 degrees and these are just going to go in and I'm going to do 13 minutes and hopefully the eggs set up but aren't too too hard. I do want some I don't know, mush, I guess, a little bit. All right. I'll do the other 3 and then I'll pop them into the oven. So the timer just went off on these. I did add another 2 minutes because they were a little bit wiggly. But these look awesome. So I do want to make sure the whites are set up. You know what? I think it's going to be good when it just kind of sits for a few minutes. So I'll jiggle it a little. You can see, hopefully you can see. So this is wiggling a little bit right here with the egg, but I'm going to let it sit and I think it'll probably cook through a little bit more as it cools. And they do need to cool because I have to take them out of here. Okay, so these have cooled down a little bit. They're still pretty warm, but this is the one that I didn't put any of the filling in to kind of test it. And it browned up really nicely and cooked through pretty well. It smells really sweet, like it's sweet bread, so it smells like a pancake. Yeah, the bread itself is really good. I would absolutely say probably that it's French toast if I were to just bite that. Okay. So this is the one with the string cheese. Let's see. Okay, so that extra time did cook the egg a little bit more than I wanted, but you can see that it's still a little bit doughy on the bread part right there. So the cheese looks great. It's nice and melty. Let's see if I can. Ah, it's so hot. Okay, here we go. You can see this cheese has a nice string to it. And I'll give it a taste. I'm not going to eat the bottom here because that's still kind of doughy, but or battery, I guess. Let's see. It's really good because you have sweet and savory in it. They just meld really well. I don't even know what to say. The cheese is really good. It's still very, very hot, but the egg, I kind of like it this texture because I have some of it kind of soft up here, and then it's cooked down here. So I'm also getting kind of a duality with the texture of the egg. The white is cooked, which was my concern and why I kept it in the extra couple of minutes. Let's try this one. So this was the ball. So same thing with the egg. Egg looks exactly the same there. And I really like the look of this cheese. Wow. All right, so that's really nice and stringy. Oh, yeah, I think depending on flavor, I don't think it's going to be much of a difference, but I think this might be my way to go here. Let's see. Mm-hmm. So if you have kids, you probably have string cheese on hand, and it's really good with the string cheese. But if you have the more fresh type, I would definitely go with that. Texture is really nice. This is really fun. I think it would be great. You can also do them in a muffin tin if you wanted to, instead of if you don't have this kind of a little loaf pan. This is really fun for a party though, instead of just doing eggs or like individual quiches or anything like that. This is really nice. And you can also add different toppings into it if you wanted to. You could do bacon or green onions. You could add a lot of different things in. So give it a try. Thanks so much for joining me for Toast Time. If you enjoy it, pretty please like and subscribe, and I will see you next Toast Time.